Oh, we're live.
We're live. Good evening, and welcome to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. We are back for another Monday night of real talk with real women, no holds bar. So we are just going to share from our hearts and from our experiences. We
Yes.
thank you for joining us tonight, and we are two. We're usually about four,
Four,
but
five. Yes.
right, exactly 4 or 5. But we're gonna make it happen, and we're gonna make it do what it do with the two of us. And so,
Absolutely.
before we get started with our topic tonight, we are going to spend some time introducing ourselves and saying what we are grateful for. And so, I guess I could start. I am Theodora Carter. I am a certified life and career coach as well as an HR consultant. And I am, passionate about helping women live with clarity and intention to reach the goals that they have set for themselves. And I am grateful for another opportunity to come and be here tonight. I am also grateful for this weekend. I had the opportunity, a friend in town, went to an arts and craft and made myself a wreath. So, was very proud of myself. So I'm just, as always, just excited to still be alive and to be here. And so that's what I am grateful for. What say ye, Gina?
Well, I am grateful that I turned a year older this weekend. So, yes,
Yes!
so Saturday I celebrated my 58th birthday. And I I had a few people say, "What are you going to do for your birthday?" I said, "What I usually do. I stay home, I worship, I read my Bible, and I just enjoy and thankful to be in God's presence." And that's what I did. And but it was really fun. It was such an amazing study, and I just so many jewels were dropped. And I'm also grateful for just being with family. My niece's birthday was yesterday, so I got to celebrate that. Um, so who am I? I already told you my age and everything. Now don't y'all go tell everybody.
Did you
Uh,
tell your age? I don't know that I heard you say how old you were.
yeah, I'm 58, y'all.
58? Yeah,
The only way y'all gonna find
congratulations.
out if you come live or if you look at the recording. Okay, that's the only way you're
Well,
gonna find out.
happy
I'm not telling
belated
everybody else.
birthday.
But what? Who am I? Is I am a woman really committed to having fun with our youth, educating them on what their future looks like, um, what they can invest in for themselves. And I believe in breaking limits to build the futures. Last time I came in my tagline, I had it all crazy. I was having a moment, but it's really breaking limits and build the futures. That's my tagline. Okay, so
Nice. Go
and
ahead.
I'm grateful for the conversation that we're going to have tonight because it's such an on time conversation about the investment. So I'm ready to just chop it up.
Nice. So, yep. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, if you are joining us live, if you will join us later, we welcome you to the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. We are one of many shows on this network, and I implore you to watch and tune in, to subscribe and like. We have our founder who's on with Lamar Taylor every Wednesday night. We have the Aftershock. We have just so many programs that are filled with really positive
Yes.
and helpful information. So if you have not already subscribed to our network and liked, any of the shows that we have on, I truly, truly, truly implore you to do so because you will not be disappointed. And so tonight we're going to get into our topic, which is really us talking about this time I'm the investment, right? So I think one of the reasons why I like this topic, and I chose this topic, Gina, was because just for me personally, right? Making that decision at some point to invest in myself,
Right.
right? And seeing all that I have been able to accomplish, right? From, I want to say 2020 to now what's going to be 20, which is now 2025 about to end, right?
Right.
Um, because believe it or not, I'm not going to say I wasn't investing in myself, but I think the way I started to invest in myself
Yeah.
made a difference
Okay.
in 5 years, right? And so I wanted to have this conversation because I feel like even just being an entrepreneur, and I'm sure you can relate to this too, it is so mystifying to me. And I don't know if I just made that word up, but if I did, oh well, it's a new word. But that there are so many people that won't invest in themselves. And when I say that, it's because I know there was a point when I offered like free sessions, right? Just for people
Mhm.
to come chat with me, learn about what coaching is, learn about what I do, learn about how I can help them. People wouldn't sign up. And if they did, they then would not show up. So I'm
Right.
like, what does it take for someone to invest in themselves, right? So this topic to me was timely. So as we start to talk about that, what's something that you've poured into yourself, right, or are now pouring into yourself that you consider to be an investment in yourself?
Okay. So when I heard you just now in regards to offering the opportunities for people to sit and work with you to, find out how to get to what's their intentions, what's valuable to them. One of the things I've realized over my years, and it's just coming into sharper focus now, is we have really different thoughts on what investment is.
Mm,
Oftentimes, the immediate thing that people tie investment with is money and feel
mm,
like that's the most valuable thing. But I'm learning even more uh, that time we we don't value our time dollars. Some of us don't, because you can tell the ones that do their uber successful, they know how to really get almost every nook and nuance out of their 24 hours and that sort of thing. They organize and they got a team, but they before they had a team, they worked with what they had and they used that time to their benefit. So one of the things that I'm learning how to do is how to use my time
mm,
better, because I used to think like a paycheck. When you get paid, most of us look at, okay, we're going to pay our bills and put a little away for savings, and then we have discretionary funds, right? And I think sometimes we treat our time the same way. Well, if I worked 8 hours and I come home, if I want to go out, right, and have some fun, I deserve that because I already did the work. I worked and I enjoy to have fun, enjoy myself. Okay, that's true. But if we want to aspire to be more than where we are, then we have to look at what we do outside of the time blocks that we assign to work, right?
mhm.
And I had to realize that, Regina, you know, you're looking at this show, and you probably saw it before, and what you really need to do is to be working on your plan. What you really need to be doing is read a couple of chapters of that really good book
Mhm.
that you bought, that you know is going to enhance your ability to serve the people that's there for you to serve. But you
Yeah.
have to put in the work. So I'm learning even more how to invest time in myself, because when I started doing that, I realized, oh snap, there's some things that I can't do.
Mm,
It's going to be harder for me to try to do it. So then I was able to see I needed to invest resources now to get the things that
mm.
I need so that I can have a strong back office. And y'all can have a back office whether you a business of one, and start from where you are. But I know in
Yep.
order for me to start right, And I keep saying I want the Lord to bless me and all of that. Well, uh, you have to do things in decency and order. And if my
Yeah.
office in the back isn't straight, and then I get these beautiful clients that are willing to invest in themselves by paying for my service, but then I don't manage the resource coming in from that, then how am I supposed to be saying, oh, but I want to have money to do this? No, work from wherever you are. So by me taking time out to see, to do that, to read, to think, then I said, okay, what is it that you do well? What do you need help with? And once I really started seeing that, I have beautiful people right around me that have the things that I don't have the capacity to do, or the time and knowledge that they already have. So I invest in
Mhm.
myself by signing up for their programs because it's helping me in my back office, helps me plan further ahead. So I think that what I started doing now really is learning how to invest my time and
Mm.
not take it
That's
for granted.
that's that's
And
good
it's
because
an ongoing, it's
it's
ongoing,
important.
but I definitely am more present to it. And maybe it's because I'm getting older, but I
Okay.
disagree with that because there's also people younger than I am, and I love seeing our younger ones that's out there making the most of their time. You
Yeah.
know, they're living their lives to the fullest. They're working their plans. You know, and they're making strategic decisions. So I'm very fortunate and blessed that I still have good strength and health, that I can now say, okay, I, Father, I appreciate the time you give me. Help me to use it wisely. Help me to invest wisely by using my time better.
I'm so glad that you started with time because Sheila's not here, the professor's not here, so I'm gonna do what she normally would do and read the definition. All right.
All right, let's do it.
so so when I looked up like investing in yourself and what that means, it says investing in yourself means using your time, effort, and resources to improve your overall well-being. But
Oh,
notice that it started off with using your time, right? Time
yes,
is number one, right? It says to improve your overall well being, knowledge, skills, and personal fulfillment, expecting a positive return in your health, career, and relationships. It's a conscious and ongoing effort to
yes,
develop a better version of yourself rather than focusing solely on financial or physical assets,
yes.
right? And so it was so, like the fact that you started off with time,
Just
right?
means that we're in tune.
Exactly, right? You're like you already got it. Like you hit it on the head. But in all reality, it is so true. Like for me, I will tell you one of the things I start all of my clients off with is a time challenge,
Okay.
lack of a better word, right? And so it basically, I usually ease them into it 3, 5, 7 days. Choose how long, but during that time period, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, you are tracking what you're doing, right?
Yes.
And you're gonna have the normal things that you have to do, right? You get up, shower, brush your teeth, right? Get dressed, all of that, right? But then you categorize those things like work. If you work a full time job or you run a business, that's considered productive time, right? Because that's something that is productive. You're doing is investing. But to the point you made about TV, right? If you're spending 2, 3 hours just watching TV, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say what some of my elders used to call it, right? The
Right.
India box, right? Um, but if you're spending time watching TV, if you are spending time talking on the phone, it's great. You are supposed to catch up
Yes.
with people, right? So
Yes.
that would be considered neutral time. But if you find yourself catching up with people and all you guys are doing are gossiping, and it's not just the how are you doing, checking in, making sure the person's all right,
Right.
and it's 2 hours or an hour and a half of nothingness or of drama and chaos, you need to think about is that neutral time or is that wasted time?
Right.
But by the time the person finished the exercise, they are able to find the amount of time in their day that they have to do the things that they've been telling themselves they can't accomplish.
Okay.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you cases like all of my clients come back with the, oh my God, I have 2 hours that I could have been spending doing this. But the main thing for me wasn't even a client. It was one of the young ladies I was mentoring. Right. And she was in, I think, her sophomore year or going into her junior year of college. And I was like, I want you to spend 3 days tracking everything that you're doing, right? Because she was like, I got this, do this. By the next time we had our mentoring session, she was like, oh my God, Miss Carter, I can't tell you how much I was able to get done because she wasn't scrolling on her phone. She wasn't scrolling on social media. She wasn't watching, TV,
Right.
right? And so I think it's so important for people to really take time to figure out how they're spending their time.
And I love that you took the time to have them go through that. I remember doing a program with Dr. DC Marshall when that was one of the things that she given us to do, and it was so impactful to actually see in real time what you do with your day, and
Yeah.
then to look at how that adds up to either being productive or not so much. And you said something a moment ago in regards to the conversations that we have. I'm trying to say this politely. So, when
Just
you,
say it.
all right, okay. So now, when we work with our peers and such, um, we also have to be mindful of those conversations because sometimes even during your work day,
Hmm.
one of the biggest killers of your time of productivity is repetitive conversations about something that already happened,
Yep.
something that cannot be changed. And instead of focusing on what you can do, you continue to focus on what was already done.
Yep.
And I find myself sometimes just wanting to um, put my headphones on and read a book because like my immediate work is done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like sometimes people need to vent because there are times when you just want to de-escalate.
Mhm.
But if it's the same running theme, then you're not de-escalating, right?
Yeah.
So we even have to be mindful of if we're working. Most of us, until my business flourishes and I'm able to do at least 3 times what I do here. This is the job that I have, and
Yeah.
it's really great. I'm learning different lessons all the time. But one of the things that's coming up is the theme of how I'm spending my time at work.
Yeah.
How much more productive can I be? Some people trying to run away from doing stuff, laying in the cut. I'm over
Yeah.
here saying, well, if I wasn't talking to this person, I could have been working on this for at least another hour,
Yeah.
right? Or even if I've done everything that I've been assigned to do and I even did a little more, well, maybe now I could open up and read a chapter of that book that I'm really itching to read, right? So, because what opens up when you have time to think and you're not head bogged down with all of that noise, you start to really uh, get clear and you can ask yourself, okay, this looks. Do I need to do something in here? Is there something I need to move around?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can hear, and if you're a believer, you can hear God when when it's quiet, when you don't feel
Yeah.
scattered, when you're not over here trying to do this, you're trying to read this, scroll here, flip this remote. You know, sometimes you just get still, even if it's just 15 minutes, because y'all, I know people are busy. Some of us are moms, grandmothers, aunties, wives. So so we have a lot of different titles.
Yeah.
So you have to ask yourself, even if it's 15 minutes, don't you deserve a focused, intentional 15 minutes of time
Mm-hmm.
just to see catch your breath, or think without the ongoing interruption of everything else. What do I need to be doing for that?
But I mean, I think it also speaks to the fact that, like you said, I also learned it from DC Marshall, right? That tracking your time. And so
Yes.
I will tell you, and I say this all the time. I probably have 4 TVs in my house, right? They don't get turned on daily. Like if you my TVs are not turned on daily. Like usually I'm watching TV on the weekend. I have it scheduled at a certain time, and it's in, well, for me, I'm intentional, right,
Yeah.
about a lot
Yeah.
of stuff, right? But that also came down to me realizing that if I sit in front of this TV for 2 and 3 hours during the week, I can't blame anybody else for something I didn't accomplish, right? Because I spent, now it's different if I'm in the kitchen, right? And I'm meal prepping and I might have the TV on.
Right. Right.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
multitasking. But
Yeah.
if I'm just sitting down watching TV when I know that I need to be in here, working on a program or
Yeah.
getting something done or doing my books, right, for my business and all of that. So I think it's really important for people to recognize that we sometimes sabotage our own selves without realizing it, right?
Yes.
Because we are, some of us get up and I'm not saying some of us, I'm gonna say me. There was a time when, yeah, I'm not gonna say I wasn't getting things done, but I was getting up. I was like, I'm going to work. And then, whatever happened throughout the day happened,
Right.
right?
Right.
And we can't plan everything in our days. But I
Exactly.
will tell you, I am like right now, I'm on today will be 126 days of working out straight, right?
Nice.
When I initially started this challenge, the goal was 100 days.
Okay.
And when I started it, after I did it, I was like, I don't know why I thought it was like a month, right? But it's 100 days,
Right. Right.
right? And so when I started it, I realized that, okay, how are you going to make sure you complete this task, right?
Okay.
So I had to be intentional about making sure I'm getting rest so I can get up and work out in the morning. If I have to work out in the morning, if I wasn't going to work out in the morning, what am I going to do? Is it going to
Right.
be in the middle of the day? Is it going to be at night? And now it's like it's part of my day, right? Like I know that at some point during the day, I'm gonna get a workout in, right? And so I think the other thing is being intentional. It's being mindful of how you're spending your time. But something else that you said that is important too is we have to be mindful of replenishing ourselves when
Yes.
we're pouring out,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you can't pour from an empty cup.
No.
And so when you're giving, right? So for me, investment is just not um investment in time, right? Which we said the definition was, right? But there's also investing emotionally,
Yes.
investing spiritually,
Yes.
investing financially, right? But
Yes.
prioritizing all of those. And I think for most people, even in the definition, the first thing they said was investing in yourself means using your time,
Mm-hmm.
effort, and resources to
Yes.
improve your overall well-being, right?
Yes.
And so when you look at that definition, right, your overall well-being, knowledge, skills, and personal fulfillment, what does well-being mean to you? Because well-being means something different to everybody.
Right. So if everything was even and I had a perfect and I could kind of just wave the wand, my sense of well being would know, knowing that my children are fine, that my mom is healthy, my dad is doing good, and their significant others are doing well because they're not together. But in my immediate family and my godchildren and that they're covered. That would, for me, that would be give me a great sense of well being. But Since that is not the reality that I have control over,
Mm. Say that again.
since that is not the reality that I have control over, what I do to help my well-being is to say, okay, Lord, let me look at the business plan that you helped me create
Mm.
that can impact people that I can actually talk with and speak to. Let me remind myself that you already gave me what I was supposed to give my children, and whatever they didn't get, that they're adults now and they're equipped to go through
Mhm.
challenges because you've shown them, you laid the foundation for how to overcome. Let me realize that my parents have doctors, they go to their appointments, they take care of those things, and their significant others are good partners. Their wife and they're good partners to them.
Mhm.
So let me decrease what's not in my area to control. So
Yeah.
now, what do I need to do for Regina, right?
Mhm.
When you talk about the Omni investment, if you're a person that always uh, pours into other people, providing them with positive reinforcement or loving on them, let them love on you. Let them pour back into you. And this is the first time I did it in a long time. I said yesterday was my niece's birthday,
Mm.
and so I went to my sister's house, and my daughter and I, my youngest one and I, we went. You know, she's in Jersey and stuff. So her older daughter was there. She's always there, and she was like, long story short, she paid me sincere. It wasn't a compliment. It was really the truth. But I'm always doing. Oh, baby, that's just what I do. That's because I love you. But I stood there and finally she wouldn't let me push it off. She's like, no, let me say it. Let me tell you
Mhm.
how I really feel about you. And just the love in her words, knowing that they were so sincere, that poured back into me because what I how I our relationship is that where she is like my first daughter. She's my niece.
Mhm.
Uh, she calls me um, auntie, cuz mom. Big sis, because that's the level of our relationship.
Yeah.
And I had to take time not to be so quick to just hug her up and say, "Oh, that's nice." She's like, "No, let me say it."
Yeah.
Sometimes the investment, y'all, is allowing people to tell you when they're loving on you and
Yeah.
they're really giving you sincere compliments. Don't rush it off. Let
Yeah.
them tell you. Let that brush over you. Let that sink in. Take that in. That's your spiritual food as well. When you know you've given to people in love and in ways, and they take the time to say thank you and show you and tell you how you've been a deposit to them. Receive that. You
Yeah.
know? And I it just touched my heart so much because she
Yep.
knows if she needs me, she can call me, whatever. I could be at work. If she it's like she's one of my it's the Batmobile. If I see
Yeah.
that's it. No, I gotta let me step outside, right? Because
Mhm.
it's an important call. Like
Yeah.
it's under, my husband, my mom, and my dad. Like those are important calls. But for her to say that to me when it wasn't it was my niece's birthday. Mine was the
Yeah.
day before. But she was like, it's not about a birthday, Auntie. It's about the relationship. So
Mhm.
let people, if the way that you give to people, y'all, if they want to give that back,
Yeah.
receive it.
Yep.
Allow yourself to be poured into.
Yep.
Knowing that you've given, allow yourself to receive it as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's so important, but I also feel like, like for me, I had to get to a point where I remember when I decided to do coaching with Trey,
Hmm.
right? And for years, I probably had wanted to do coaching, but I would tell myself I couldn't afford it, right?
Right,
But then I look at all the shoes I had in my closet, right? I look at all the stuff, right?
right.
I was investing in my stuff, but I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
investing
yeah.
in me. But one day it was as simple as how much money are you spending every day on Dunkin' Donuts
Mm.
or Starbucks
Okay.
or eating out for lunch, right? Like, I literally was like, okay, if I go to Dunkin' Donuts, right, for tea or coffee or whatever it is, right,
Mm-hmm.
every day I'm spending anywhere from $3 to maybe $5, right?
Right.
When you go to Starbucks, forget about it. You starting at 5, right, and going to whatever, right? And so I'm like, if you were to total that up, 3, right, times 5 days a week, right,
Right.
times 4 weeks in the month, right? Like
Yes. Yes. It's
right
true.
there, that's the money for coaching,
Yes.
right? That's the money to invest in a coach, investing in something that's going to help you, achieve the goals that you are trying to achieve, right?
Absolutely.
And and so, it really was eye-opening for me, because even like eating out,
Mm-hmm.
like when I did a challenge where I was like, I'm gonna take my lunch. The amount of money I would end up still having in my wallet at the end of the week, I was like, oh, wait
Right.
a minute,
Right.
right? Because back then, working in the city, right? Easily you could spend 10, $15
Yes. Yes.
on lunch,
On
right?
lunch.
Depending on what you're buying. And so for me, it really came down to, and I will honestly say this: if I didn't do exactly what this definition say, right? If I didn't invest time, effort, and resources, right,
Yes.
to improve not my well-being, my knowledge, my skills, personal fulfillment,
Yes.
I realized this year, October next month,
Mm-hmm.
is 5 years since I got my LLC.
Wow. Beautiful.
Right now, have those 5 years been a little kind of up and down roller coaster? It always hasn't been easy, but if I had not got to the point where I was intentional about investing in myself,
Yes.
intentional about figuring out how I'm spending my time, right? Making sure I'm making, because the other thing is, when you become an entrepreneur, we're entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
We're
Yes.
authors, right? We
Yes.
do this show every Monday, right? We
Yes.
work full-time jobs, right?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So when you start thinking about all of that, right? And then you're like, I still need a social life,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And that's where intention comes in as well, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you, when I started my business and I thought about time, one of the things that I was intentional about is the days that I'm not taking clients, right?
Right.
So Monday is maybe an administrative day where I'm going to get some of my paperwork done, my back end stuff done,
Right.
right?
Right.
But also a day where, and then on the weekends, Sundays, I'm not doing any work, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your Sabbath is Saturday, but also
Yes.
on Saturday, I have a little window where I might take a client, right, in the early morning,
Okay.
right? Because, like, I will tell you this weekend what I did. One of my friends was in town from New York, but I also had signed up for this lady, young woman I met. I'm gonna say young woman. We're probably about the same age, both 59. But anyway, she does arts and crafts stuff,
Okay.
and I went to it, and she was teaching us how to make our own wreaths.
Nice.
So, and I posted it on Instagram. So if you want to see it, you can see it on Instagram, because my wreath was probably the best wreath that came out, like colors and everything. Right? Like I was like, oh, because they was like, oh my God, your wreath looks so beautiful. Because it has like purple and bluish and then all that.
Okay.
But I am also intentional about making sure on the weekends I'm not glued to the computer working. Right.
Is
So
right.
I do have time on a Friday morning that I'll get stuff done.
Okay.
But Saturday afternoon, Sunday, that's me time.
Yeah.
That's time to spend with friends. That's time to spend with family, right? That's time to do nothing if I don't want to do anything.
Right. Right.
But the reality is, getting back to this definition, it is really about time. and for me, and you know, it's about intention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I really do believe when we are intentional about how we are spending time, how we are moving, how are we planning, what are we doing, we have a better chance of reaching that goal.
You know, that is something that we may not realize. Our ability to achieve whatever we want, whether it's at work, and mind you, we're entrepreneurs, but we hold full time jobs. This and whatever fulfills you is fine, but whatever that is, you want to manage your time around that as much as you can. And when you start realizing that you have certain goals you want to achieve, the way that you reach your optimum ability to achieve those goals, it really does start with how we manage our time,
Yeah.
because it everything falls from that. It you can't get around that. That's right there is the secret sauce. And I had to learn that, because see, what I used to believe was, okay, I know I got my business to do, and I know I got to go to work and give it and do my stuff there, but I need some downtime in between. So I would rationalize, you know, checking out
Yeah.
for, looking at a show, or trying to
Mhm.
find something to look at. And here's how I'm learning that I'm starting to really appreciate my time, because if I'm looking 5-10 minutes and I can't find it, that means I'm not supposed to look at nothing. I'm not supposed to
Exactly.
be off, right?
That means there's nothing on
Yeah,
TV
there's
to
nothing on
watch.
that I need to be doing. I need to be doing something more important than that, right?
Yeah.
Now, see, we can say this now because we have no
We
children
learned
in the
it.
house and we're grown, so we have a bit more flexibility. If you're a mom with children in the house, then your time is definitely
Yeah.
taken on a different way. So, mind you, this we're talking about however much time you have that you
Hmm.
can devote to yourself. And sometimes you may not feel that you have a lot of time. So that's why a nice 15 minutes as a mom, when they were home and I had to do all that school stuff, work stuff, fix dinner stuff every day, all the time, I used to be like, hey, y'all, I'm going to need 30 minutes before I can talk to anybody. If y'all not, if nobody's hurt, right? If you're good, everybody, okay, I need 30 minutes.
But that's the boundaries, right? That's
I
the
had to
other
learn,
thing. But it's all learned. And that's
because
the
I
thing.
would automatically say, okay, they're hungry. Okay, go in the kitchen. Even now, nobody's. It's my husband and I go in the kitchen, wash my hands. Up, say, Regina,
Mhm.
chill for a minute. Dinner's on the stove. You don't have to. It's good. He fixed. Chill. So
It's
so
all it's all learned
it's
behavior,
it's yes, yes. So
right?
it's no matter what you're doing, your profession or your career. Um, if we start learning how to take back our time as it relates to what we want to do, it's even in talking about, how you say, oh, I, I don't hardly get to see my family because I'm so busy. I'm so busy.
Hmm.
Well, what are we busy doing that's snatching our time away?
Yeah.
That we're not thinking about how to plan a gathering for our family. What are we doing that's not so important as creating those memories,
Yeah.
right? So we had to, and the thing of it is, it's not a beat up, y'all. We're talking from a place of growing in awareness of what it is. And some of y'all may look at you and say, yeah, I remember feeling like that, or being in that space.
Mhm.
Um, and it's not a judgment, because I'm still learning more now how to appreciate my time, and take in investing in myself first, realizing that I have the time that I
Mhm.
didn't really think I had, but when I put the phone down or I didn't turn on the TV, then I was able to make my juice,
Yeah.
right? Because I didn't get caught up in 2 hours worth of a rerun that I saw already, or trying to get caught up in a new series that I really don't need to get caught up in, just because it's entertainment. I need
Yeah.
my juice, right? I need to make my juice. So if I'm looking at TV, I'm not making my juice.
But it comes back to it's learned, and that's the one thing I want to say, right? Because I don't want anyone to think that this was easy.
Oh
Like this
goodness,
is
no.
this is this is a space that we grew to,
Right.
right?
And
Like this
growing
is,
better still.
and we're still growing,
Yes.
right? This
Yes.
is this is a space where, you know, we've learned and we've had to readjust. And even now, there's always going to be times when you have to pivot,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
There's
Definitely.
always going to be times when you have to pivot. You have to figure out, like, how am I going to do this differently? Like, I may have to realign something else, right? You know, to make this happen.
Right.
And so I think it's so important that we, people hear us, and like you said, it's not judgment. We're not
No.
making it seem like, if you're not doing this, that you're doing something wrong. Because baby, this this didn't come easy for us, and we're
It's a
still
journey.
learning. We're still learning how to set boundaries. We're still learning how to make sure we're being intentional about the things that we want to do.
Yes.
And we're still learning what investing in ourselves really means. Because I
Absolutely.
also feel that that changes,
Yes,
right?
it does.
How you invest in
Oh my.
yourself, how you invested in yourself, what you're investing in yourself, it changes. Like the definition says, it's a conscious and ongoing effort.
Because our priorities do shift, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I went from being responsible for raising four people
Yeah.
to it's my husband and I.
Mm-hmm.
So first it was a whole house, so and all the stuff that went with doing those things, the activities, the
Yeah.
parent teacher meetings, and all that kind of stuff. So I was. And here's the thing: I was totally okay. I was 100% in about what that meant. So it took me a while to realize you got you got more use of your time than you used to have, because you
Mhm.
don't have the responsibility of having to manage your children and support them
Yeah.
at home and do all of those parenting things, because now they are functioning adults out on their own. So you have more focused time that you can use to do something else,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so what is your default? Because my default was always usually being there for somebody else.
Yes.
And even as I do my business, I say, okay, I have to look at how I need to do outreach and um, do better marketing so I can
Yeah.
get potential clientele and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I had to look at, okay, Regina, don't go to your default. My default was, because I don't have the kids now, I can relax.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to take on another level of responsibility and growth, you don't that's not relaxing. That's time to put the
Mm-hmm.
work in, because I have no excuse, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't say, well, it's because of the kid, because of the what kids, what children.
Yeah.
And my husband, we're so like, we we don't have to be in each other's face like this. I No, it's not like that. So like, we'd be like, bruh, really? He'd be like, girl, you know,
Yeah, it's that knowing that you spend time together, but you spend time alone. But you know what's so crazy is, right? So reading this definition, right?
hmm
It breaks it down like this, right? It already said what invested in yourself means, right? Time, effort, and resources to improve your overall well-being, knowledge, skills, and personal fulfillment,
hmm
expecting positive return. But then it says, here's what it entails, right? It entails personal development,
yes,
right? Dedicating time and energy to learning new skills, pursuing further education, or developing new interests.
yes,
Right? It
yes.
says physical and mental health.
Oh,
That's something we touched on, right? Prioritizing your health through exercise, better nutrition practices like mindfulness to improve your overall well-being,
Yes.
career growth, if that's what you're looking for, taking steps to advance your career, such as seeking mentorship, taking on new challenges, or acquiring certification. For me, it was investing in coaching, right?
Right.
It was investing in therapy,
Right.
right? Um, building support systems,
Definitely.
right? So
Definitely.
nurturing relationships with supportive friends and family who encourage your growth, managing your resources, making conscious choices about how you spend your money and time,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
And self-care, taking time to rest, recharge, and engage in activities you enjoy, right? And what's so crazy about all of that is, right, everything that I just read from this definition is stuff you already said without even knowing this.
That's the crazy part. That's how y'all we on the same page. Like for her to read that like that, but it's because of that's the beauty of having lived experiences. You know, I won't. The mistakes you make are just the opportunity to say, okay, this didn't work.
Yeah.
So instead of kind of beating yourself up, oh, I should have did this. You know, there's a quote that says, you know, the first time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today.
Yeah.
So we didn't we didn't know or realize or decide that it was valuable enough to do a thing maybe 5, 10 years ago, maybe 5, 10 months ago. But when you learn it, you got it. And so that's when you implement what the new tool that you learn.
Yeah.
And it is also important to, if you don't know, ask people, or like Theo was saying, get you a book, get you a coach, get someone. And the reason why I was kind of flipping in the back is because I wanted to show y'all the book I reinvested in because it's really important. It helped me when I was like really like young in my career, and then I don't know why I put it down, but anyway. So this book, I'm sorry.
Oh yes, the seven
So
habits. Yep.
this is the new edition of Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. And when I first purchased this book, I was in my 20s. It, well, clearly, because this is the 30-year redo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was really powerful that, you know, with the four different compartments talk about priority and what's important, what's not.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that I was chasing a lot of things that weren't priorities because it looked like it was important, but wasn't
Yeah.
really. When I looked at breaking down the things that I wanted to do and achieve, and you look at it's a, I mean, it's worth to read, y'all. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, 25 million copies worldwide anyway.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
it's but the reason why I bought it again just recently, and this is to tell you we never stop growing, because I said, I was like, one of my Sabbath, I was like, Father, I know that I could be doing better than what I'm doing right now,
mhm.
and I want to do that because I know I'm supposed to serve people. It's not about me. It's about using the skills, gifts, and talents you have to serve other people,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, but I'm feeling like not stuck, but not really there.
Yeah.
And it hit me like a ton of bricks. You need to reread Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. Man, I got that book quicker than you can say.
But you know that's one of my faves. But you know my one of my faves, the two of my faves are the Failing Forward, right, by
Yeah,
John
that's yes,
Maxwell,
yes,
right?
yes.
Because this is like another topic, people, but this is important for somebody that's listening. There's going to be one person listening now or listening later, right? Failing is a part of growing,
Yes. Yes.
right? Like if you look at some of the people that fail, like the Harry Potter lady, the people who told Michael Jordan that he wasn't going to play basketball, and look who he became, right?
Hmm.
Those are just two people. The Mary Kay lady, right? If you knew her story. But
Michael
the
Jordan.
reality is, for somebody out here, this is a little sidetrack on this conversation, but I think it's important to know that failing is a part of growth. But
But
my
here's
other book is this one.
I got
The 12-week year.
yeah. So I can't even talk with that until I get this straight because I have that one and I have that one in the back. Hey, how you doing? Okay.
Right? But the other thing, right, is it's yeah, you see, it's the investment. I mean, I think that, but that's what this is, what's so critical, right? Is
Yes.
for me, I think it also comes down to redefining what it means to invest in yourself. Because I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you, right? I am not gonna sit here and let y'all think that when I was in my what 20s, right, 30s, right? I think back now about the money I used to spend. I had like every color pair of Levi's. I had the sneakers to match, the top. Remember they had the little tops with the eyes out on it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I was fly, right? I
Fresh
had
to death, as they
jeans,
used to
I
say
had the
back in
whatever,
the
right?
day.
So yeah, we all go through that phase, and there might be some really perfect person out there that didn't. But we all go through that phase where we're investing money in things and material things and clothes and bags and whatever, right? But at some point, you need to redefine what investing in yourself looks like.
And I want to say you need to be around people that are having smarter conversations than
Mm-hmm.
what outfit we go to wear to the club
Mm-hmm.
or go to this thing. Because if you're living long enough, you start thinking about your future. Tell your present self where do I want to be in my future?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you start looking at how you spend your time bucks now, if you're in your 30s and your 40s and you're checking this out and you're like, I got it all together, well, I'm happy you do because that's a beautiful thing and no
Yeah.
shade, nothing. That's amazing. But if you're one of those that got it together, then I suggest you reach out to someone you see that needs a little help and give them some of your really great tips on how you got it together.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also important when you're at those ages in your 30s and stuff like that and your 20s, you want to surround yourself with people that are doing good things. Now, if we all doing the same old, but we all talk about, oh, we want to do better, we want to get there, but
Yeah.
at the same time, what you're doing is opposite of what you say you want, right? So investing in yourself is not necessarily saying, oh, I got that outfit, I want to be fly, but I want to live here in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And if
And what do I need to
if
do to get
what do
here?
I need to do? Does that mean do I need 5 pair of pants or can I rock it with four? You understand what I'm saying? Like it's the small changes, but it's being intentional about how you invest in yourself. Because someone could say, well, you talk about investing this time I'm the investment. Well, yeah, when I rock my outfits and I rock my hair and I rock how I rock my bags and my shoes, I'm investing in myself. Well, I'm gonna just give you a little come closer. I'm gonna give you a little tip, a little clue.
You want me to lean in? Lean in?
Okay, yeah, because what you invested in is the brand of clothes that you paid for. That after, depending on the quality of those things, they're not going to last. Your body's going to change. So unless you know you're going to be a size 8, 10, or 12, 5 years down the line, I would not suggest that you buy 6 or 7 pairs of those things,
Mhm.
sugar, because our bodies will change. Okay, so think about how you spending your resource.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not that you can't look good and be on point. Of course you can, as you should. You are an elegant, beautiful
Yeah.
woman. You represent you well.
Yeah.
But understand, you also are responsible for how you invest your resource to have the future that you say you want.
And to build legacy,
And to
especially for
build,
anyone that has children,
listen.
right? What's
You can
the
have
legacy
niece
that
or
you're leaving
somebody.
them?
So just be mindful. One of the things that if I say I made a mistake on, I wouldn't do it again. And here's one of the mistakes I made. I was working in Morgan Stanley, and I was in college at the time, so I was working in the mail room with the principals. I mean, you talk about they were bringing in $1 million businesses and stuff like that, and we would go out there and deliver their mail and stuff. And I there was some that was just really say, "Oh, you just graduated out of college," so they would just give me some game, right? Now I'm not really appreciating this because I haven't been in that level of conversation before.
Yeah.
So now I had one of these women, black sister, I think. I wish I could remember her name. And the reason why I said she's black because there weren't that many of them there. There weren't that many black principals at Morgan Stanley when I was there. Okay, almost 30 something years ago. And she sat me on the side. She said, "Regina, she saw how I moved and stuff." And she was talking to me about stuff like insurance and
Mm-hmm.
investment. And all of this is going over my head because what we were taught growing up is get your education, go to college, get your education, land you a decent job, whatever, right? So that was basically the gist of what we were
Yeah.
supposed to do after you make sure you honor the Lord and respect your elders, right?
Yeah.
So that was our language. But there was no conversation around, investing, saving, anything around strategies, right?
Yeah.
So when I heard her say that to me, I was like, okay, that sounded good, but I didn't really say, let me take you to lunch. Let's have a coffee, or
Yeah.
can I come sit at your office and talk to me more about it? Because that wasn't something that was a regular conversation.
Yeah.
Let me just say this, look, y'all. Had I done that back then, and I had already had money in because I was had the 401k and all of that,
Yeah.
it, my trajectory would have been different had I sat down and had those conversations. So, what I'm saying to you is take the time. I'm sorry, y'all. These new fancy headphones is annoying. But what I'm saying to you is take the time to know, yes, you are the investment, and be
Mm-hmm.
strategic about the conversations that you engage in. Ask yourself what's important to you now and what's important for your future, because the you now needs to invest in you now so that you can have the future you
Mm-hmm.
want. And just think about what that looks like,
Yeah.
right? And I'm only telling you things from the lessons I've already learned. I wish to I wish that I had people around me that had those type of financial conversations, investment conversations, healing conversations, so that I would be more confident in
Mm-hmm.
taking my business, my intellect, and pushing it out there sooner instead
Mm-hmm.
of being nervous that I may not make it. So let me hold on to this job because I'm not ready. But didn't realize I could do both at the same time. I
Mm-hmm.
could test the waters and still have a steady income. So y'all want to get around people that's going to encourage you and uplift you and not make you
Mm-hmm.
feel stuck. It sometimes that just means you may not have no one in person, but there's really good people out there. I go to YouTube University on a regular basis
Mm-hmm.
to help me.
But so what I will say, right? Because we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
Um, what I would say is it like this. I love this definition, right? Because it does speak
Yeah,
to
let's end with this
invest,
definition. That way you can take some notes on that.
right?
Yes.
It's like investing in yourself means using your time, effort, and resources to improve your overall well-being, knowledge, skills, and personal fulfillment.
So,
Expecting a positive return in your health, career, and relationships. It's a conscious and ongoing effort to develop a better version of yourself rather than focusing solely on financial or physical assets, right?
uh, okay.
Right. So that is important. But I will say this, right? Being in HR, right? Being an African American woman in HR who who was blessed to rise to an executive level, right?
Right.
I will say this: every assistant that I had, I was like, I don't care if you put $10 a pay period in, you're gonna join the 403B, the retirement
Right.
plan,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so, what I will say to anybody right now that's listening, if you work for an organization and they match, right,
Mm-hmm.
you want to put in at least up to the amount that they're going to match. So, like for instance, if your job matched dollar for dollar up to 6%,
Yes.
You want to be putting in 6% so that they will also, when they match you, they're going to match you up to that 6%,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes.
You want to know, the most important thing you want to know is, what is the vesting schedule? And what that means is, to be vested means that any money you put in of your own is your own. But
Yes.
when your company matches you, most has a vesting schedule. So after 2 years, you might be 50%
Right.
vested. After 5 years, you might be 75% vested. After 3 years, so I work for an organization where after 3 years, you're 100% vested.
Okay.
That means if I leave tomorrow, the money I put in, along with the money they put in,
That's
is
right.
mine, right?
That's right.
Which is why it's important for you, one, to put in, if you can, and if you can't
If you
do it
can.
right away, every year you want to try to increase it. So at some point you're getting that full match, yet they're matching you, and know the vesting schedule, right? So that when you're ready to leave, you're not mad because you're like, I left and I'm not vested, and you're mad because you thought you were going to get their money,
Right.
right? But they're
Right.
like, no, you needed to stay here to get 100% of that. Some of them might be like, you get 25%, 50%, depending on the organization.
Mhm.
So that is the one thing I want to say as well, right? Is take advantage of those 401ks,
Yes.
403bs, which is the nonprofit version of it, right? Know that information.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it. Because here's the thing, a lot of organizations don't offer pensions like they
No, they
used to,
don't.
right? And so that's the first thing. The second thing is like Gina was saying before, right?
Mhm.
If she had listened or took in information
Mhm.
about how to invest at a time, right? Right now, she could probably be a full-time entrepreneur,
Absolutely.
right?
And yes. Or at the very least, I would have been doing different things as far as my children's education. I would have been definitely more strategic. But guess what? Those are lessons learned.
Learn.
And the beauty of learning those lessons, I don't have to keep that to myself.
No, you get to
You
share
hear
it.
it. For the ones that know it, for the ones that's out there, you still are kind of in the building stage.
Yeah,
Use the strategies that are there for you to build financially if you're working and what have you.
yeah.
If not, let the education be your guide. One of the things that I would have liked to do, had I thought about it when Theo mentioned the definition, is to really take that and give y'all an example of what that means in real language, because she read the definitions, which was deep and broad at the same time, but to
Hmm.
match that with what that means in real time,
Well, we could
right?
we could continue this conversation next week, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like we could definitely break it down, because I think this is such an important topic, because so many of us, and I'm gonna say this about me. I wish, like you said, I had invested in myself differently, right? And it's
right.
never too late. That's the other thing I want
That's
to
the
say.
beauty of it.
It's
It's
never
not.
too late,
Do you
right?
see us feeling sorry? Do you see us with the
Right.
woe is me, with the pity party look?
Yeah,
No. What we're saying is it's not too late. Okay?
yeah.
You
It is never
listen,
too late.
it's never too late. As long as you got
And yeah,
breath in your lungs,
it's
strength
never
in your
too late.
body, and you got a sound mind, you can still put forth some things and make some positive shifts and changes to really
Yeah.
have a better quality of life, or better experiences, right? Or even share your wisdom and knowledge with the people that you love and care about that's coming up behind you.
Yeah. So tune in next week on the
Yeah.
Women to Women show. Like, we want to thank you for tuning
Thank
in tonight to the Women to Women show on the New You Nation Network. I'm telling you right now, if you have not subscribed to this network, you are missing out, because not only do you get the benefit of tuning into the Women to Women show every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time,
you.
you get Miss Trey Kearney, the founder, the extraordinaire person of this network, who has
Right.
built a network of positive content,
In
right?
real talk now,
In
we
real
have grown
talk,
folk conversations on some of
right?
these.
Yep. So you gotta be ready,
Yeah.
because it's gonna be real. Some of it might be raw, but it's going to be grown folk conversation, but it's going to be
Yes.
positive conversation. It's not ratchetness, right?
Right.
You're going to learn something. We're going to share our experiences with you, right?
Food for
Because
thought. You're gonna definitely have food for thought.
exactly, we're
Yeah.
not going to we're going to tell you the mistakes that we made and probably mistakes that we might still be making, but we're also going to share with you what we have done to be better, to continue to
And
get
the
better.
victories. The victories along the way.
Exactly.
Okay.
And to continue to grow,
Yes.
right? So thank you so much for tuning in. Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. This time I'm the investment, and I'm gonna seal this and close it with this. And one, we're gonna continue this conversation next week. But here's the one thing I want anyone that's listening now and who will listen to the replay to start thinking about. We're going into the last quarter of the year,
Yes.
October, November, December.
Hmm.
What's one way you're going to invest in yourself in the final quarter of this year? What is one way you
Yes.
are going to invest in yourself for the final quarter of this year? So think about it. We'll be back next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New You Nation Network, Woman to Woman show. And we're going to continue this conversation because, like Gina said, we're going to break it down. We're going to cover each one of these areas and we're going to talk about it. What does it mean to invest in yourself? Right? And the benefit of investing in yourself,
Yes.
right? And how freeing it is to invest in yourself. So have a good night. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see
Take
you
care,
again
y'all.
next week on the Woman to Woman show, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday night. Have a great night.
Take care, y'all. Bye for now. Hi, y'all. We're still here. Huh. I'm not sure what happened, but I believe my co-host left, and I'm still on. So I'm just going to share one thing I'm going to do is be intentional to have 1 hour during the day um, where I'm focused on what what I want to do, what particular book I want to read, or something that I want to spend my time in wisely during the day, which means that I'm going to take my lunch hour and make it productive and not just a regular, surfing the web or the web, which is my phone. So that's one of the things that I'm going to do um, between now and next week. Commit to a focused hour of actually reading this. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing. So uh, I do believe